Chase Sexton and Monster Energy Kawasaki have finally made it official, and his teammate in the 450 class has also been revealed. And for those that were really hoping, I'm sorry to break it to you, it is not Eli Tomac. Welcome back to Vinyl MX. I'm your host, Michael Lindsay, and as always, any of our news break feature are brought to you by our fine friends at 60 Helmets. Learn more about the ATR3 and the third generation omnidirectional system that brought energy management to the forefront of motocross riders' minds. This is all thanks to our friends at 60, and check them out at 60helmets.com. Yes, one of the worst kept secrets in moto, and it's pretty hard with high profile signings these days to really make a shock announcement. Yes, Chase's Red Bull KTM contract has been up for, a few weeks at this point, but part of the reason Kawasaki waited to reveal this, even though Chase is definitely the headline item, is they want to announce all of their factory level, that includes their factory 450 team and the Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki 250 team. They wanted to announce all those factory signings at once. That's kind of what they've been doing for the past couple years. So we have all that info here. We have all their 250 deals in this as well. But again, the headline is Chase Sexton. Beautiful photo shoot these guys did. The guys from Octopi, Swanberg, Garth, those guys, they knocked it out. They went and actually did, it looks like this photo shoot in Hawaii for Chase's announcement images. Of course, if you follow Chase, he always vacations there in the off season. He has affinity to that place. So really cool. They didn't just secure a Cowie there to shoot. They took a whole factory bike and shot. So that is makes some of these launch materials a little more impactful. We would expect to probably see a Monster Energy video. And again, that's outside of the bike. That's one of the only major changes we are seeing visually for Chase Sexton is he returns to Monster Energy after a few years away from the brand to be a Red Bull athlete alongside his Red Bull KTM factory racing contract. He was, of course, with Monster Energy towards the tail end of his HRC Honda career. They did a little bit of materials with him. There was a really cool video came out his final season with Honda, but we would hope this time around, Chase's profile has grown since then even more. We would hope and expect to maybe see some more Monster Energy projects during his tenure with the brand this time. Again, Alpine Star still head to toe minus Oakley. He is running Oakley goggles, and the kit itself for the launch materials, little bit different than what we've seen Jason Anderson in. And also, if you check out his IG for one of the launch videos, speaking of Chase's IG, you'll see him flash through a couple more of the colorways that we'll probably expect to see him in early into the Supercross season, what they've already approved and worked through. The PR itself is a little vague. It's getting more and more common at this factory level to not really unveil the exact details of length, other than if it's a single year or multi-year, and the multi-years are pretty vague because there's usually options in there. So it's really hard to hit the term because the outgoing rider, Jorge Prado, had a 3+1, and in Chase's case, he usually does 2+1, so we would imagine that's what it is. So on paper, if they were to have put anything, it would have probably been announced as a 26-27 deal, but there's an option. So whatever, it's a multi-year deal. Chase is going to be here for a little while. And can we just say, the number 4, the whole look on the Kawasaki looks pretty good. One of the bigger parts of this, again, being a full Kawasaki team announcement, is we do have that confirmation of his teammate. And as we talked about on one of our Rumor Mill videos 2 or 3 weeks ago, we confirmed, hey, it's going to be Garrett Marchbanks. It is Garrett Marchbanks. Sorry for all those that were still somehow holding out hope because we haven't seen the Eli Tomac Red Bull KTM PR. It's coming out tomorrow, put it simply. They were holding out hope there was something else. No, Garrett has been chosen to be Chase's teammate all year. There are photos of him in the launch materials, but there are no photos of him riding, which is either for one or two reasons. Garrett did get a little bit banged up at the end of the season, so we're not sure if he's returned to riding yet. The second one is, as of a week ago, because this decision was fairly last minute, I think Garrett was still working on a gear deal, so that also could hold his up a little bit because they may not know what to shoot him in yet. So, but Marchbanks will be alongside Chase Sexton. We'll hopefully catch up with Garrett soon to learn more about his contract as well. We don't know if he was already signed to Kawasaki. That re-up had been announced for him at Pro Circuit, but all Pro Circuit 250 riders are contracted to Kawasaki. So fairly easy for them to basically tear it up and start over again. Figure out if he has a multi-year, if he has options, because I know people in his corner really wanted to see him get more than 1 year guaranteed if he were to abandon the 250 class, a guaranteed spot at PC to do this. So congratulations again to Garrett to get that factory 450 spot. All the 250 PC news is fairly obvious, as Cameron McAdoo and Seth Hamaker both had existing years left in their contract. So they're both entering the final year of their new deals for 2026, or the existing deals they had. Levi Kitchens signed a new 2-year deal halfway through his last season, so he has one that carries him for 26 and 27. And Drew Adams has had a pro deal in place for 26, 27. We saw him race this year, still technically on his amateur contracts. All those deals were locked in. It was just figuring out what they were doing with Garrett's. Now, the one bit of surprise is we thought with Garrett's move that they might bring up one of their amateurs. Enzo Timmerman had a really good showing at Loretta's, has really been pushing for that spot. We thought maybe he would just replace Garrett. It does not look like they've decided that. What we've heard behind the scenes is Temmerman will probably fall into Drew's situation, where he is on Team Green amateur contract for next year. The plan is for him to race, your future, or your SMX Next, your combines. But if somebody gets hurt on the PC team, he will get to move up, because that's how we saw Drew this year. Drew wasn't 100% planned to be pro. It was always like, hey, you're going to do a chunk of nationals, this, that. But enough guys got hurt that he got to race a good portion of the year, although he also suffered injuries himself and wasn't able to maybe capitalize on that full racing schedule. So 4-man PC 250 team, 2-man factory 450 team. Again, one of the worst kept secrets in moto, and it's already been discussed. It's already been looked at, but hey, let's hear it. Comment section below. What do you think of the launch materials? How's Chase look on the Kawasaki? How do we think Chase is going to do on the Kawasaki? And just what is your initial impressions on what's going on at Monster Energy Kawasaki these days, and what their situation is heading into 2026? Share your thoughts down below. And as always, if you like our news break features, like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.